Thank you, Shelley. Good morning, everybody. All right, let me do the land acknowledgement. We pay our respects to the elders, both past and present, who have stewarded this land throughout generations. We also express our respect for all other displaced Indigenous peoples who call Pierce County home. These are original homelands of the Nisqually, Puyallup, Squaxin, Steilacoom, and Muckleshoot. It is important to move beyond acknowledgement and reflect on your own history that brought you to this place. This land acknowledgement is one small step in an ongoing commitment to improve our support of Indigenous communities in this area.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so, I already leaned into the opening message, but Tamar's gonna come on and he's going to kind of walk you all through, what is our focus? What are we doing? And we'll be doing our breakout rooms, and we will be hearing from each one of our subgroups. And if you are new and this is your first time attending the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force meeting, first of all, welcome. Second, your first stop will be in the lobby today. So you will meet Tamar Jackson and Jeff and I in the lobby today, and we will walk through exactly what this is, even more so to go a little bit more in depth. And then you can choose from there which subgroup resonates the most with you, and you can hop around and do all of that. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Tamar, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Shelley. Man, what's going on, y'all? Man, I'm sitting there looking at all these beautiful faces, man. Just this power in the room, man, just beautiful. I'm looking at a face right now, and it's so funny when I see her, Miss Sarah Irish, to see we here together 2 years later, handling business. I remember me and Sarah was kicking down doors when all this first happened. And they was like, who you running with? I'm like, I'm running with Miss Sarah Irish. And half the time, I didn't even have to spark up because she was quick to spark before I did, And so just looking at all these faces, man, and just the new faces, just what we have, really going off of what Shelley said at the very beginning. And, I just want to let you guys know is we're power. Everybody on this phone call right now has a talent that nobody can take away from them. And that's why we're all sitting together right now, looking at the school district. What's up, Meg? I see you, girl. Looking at Mr. Bob coming from Phoenix, and, we have such a different group because it's not just service providers, it's the community. And, over the last year, we really structured on trying to build a community that had the heartbeat of the community. Every one of us are ground level, regardless of our titles and our positions at work. And I love how we rock that way. It's I'm at Workforce Central, but when I'm in here, I'm task force. I'm with you guys, man. It's just I happen to be able to leverage where I'm at, and that's Workforce Central. So, as we move through this next year and we get excited for 2021, understand every time we get together, come as your person, come as your passion. I think we've set an environment where you can come as your whole person. You can speak freely. You can let us know concerns. And I hope as a family and as a group, we can sit and we can get through those concerns, leveraging our organization so that way nothing has to be transactional. Everything that we do is impactful, whether it's big, whether it's small, whether it's astronomical, and we don't even think that we can do it. I'm telling you right now, this group has that juice to do anything that we want to do. And we have the support from this community to be able to change this community and how it looks at them being served. They want to be a part of this. I tell everybody, we're the new Motown. That's who we are. If my new name this year is going to be Tamar Gordy. That's my great-great-grandfather. I'm out here. We doing what we do. We are the Pierce County Motown. We're making things happen right now. But the thing about Motown that people didn't understand is they had so many stars that it didn't matter who wrote the track. It didn't matter who did the logistics of it. It didn't matter who was singing the track because they were all part of one family. and everybody had a Cadillac. That was the challenge. Everybody had a Cadillac. And as long as we run in with a Cadillac, we gonna stay Motown. So it doesn't matter what you guys have to do. It doesn't matter. We all have the same titles, and that's community members. We all have the same passion, and that's taking care of this community. And so with that being said, we gonna run through, man. Welcome to 2021, the year of resiliency. I'm pumped up today. I've been up since 4:30 this morning, so excuse me if I'm on some extra juice today. I got that juice today. My team's in the playoffs. I got the juice. So we're going to make it happen. Again, thank you guys all so much for starting your morning out with us. I hope to see you guys every month and through meetings throughout. And let's just keep growing this thing. So over the last year, I just want you guys to know we did a lot of things. We were established in 2019. It's been 2 years. And, you know, for those that were at the beginning, we didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't know where we was headed. We just knew that we wanted to be impactful and make a change. So the task force was born. You know, Lawrence always laughs when we say it, but we draft like Super Bowl champions. And we saved some 7th round picks, some 4th round picks, you know, Russell Wilson's 3rd round, but he the best in the game. And so our mission was really to figure out how we can build a framework built around integrity, built to where when we say that we're coming to serve the community, that we mean that we're coming to serve the community. It was no longer about us. It was no longer about our organizations, but it was about the community. You know, we wanted to impact the providers. We wanted to connect with the recipients. We wanted to make sure that the community knew where we were going, but we also wanted to be that group that could be held accountable for what we're saying to this community. Over the last year, we've went to 100 plus members. Through COVID, we stayed from 60 to 80 people a month. Through COVID, we made that happen. We have 90 organizations that represent the task force, but ultimately, we just became one family, one community, and that's what we are. We're a group of friends with the same passion. A little while back, you guys hear me on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever, you know, the mayor of Loop City. You know, so people are like, man, what is Loop City? Where is that? You know, are you in the loop or are you in the lobby? Me and Shelly spoke about that. Well, the loop is the 4 pillars of the task force: our leadership, our organizational structures, the outreach group, and the providers and people's group. And when we thought about it, not even gonna lie, we didn't realize that we actually had an acronym that spelled something. So we just realized, they said, oh, that spells loop. Are you in the loop? Loop City. You know, our logo was the bridge, and we felt, you know, we wanted to bridge the gap. So when you've seen that bridge, you know what time it was. You're coming into Loop City. And the only thing that we ever ask anybody here is to figure out where you're going to reside, where you're going to build your house, your foundation, so you can do this work that's meaningful for you. Last year was an amazing year. Even though it was a crazy year, it was still amazing. You know, some of you guys heard this at the last meeting, but I just really wanted to go back through that, because when I got a chance to sit and really think about what we did last year, it was amazing. We gave 300,000 in distributions because of the collaborative efforts that we have. Big shout out to the More Right group. I don't know if they're on here, but big shout out to them. They supported us with a lot of great things, different organizations, but we all came together to get that out in the community. We served 650 families through COVID. 65 new organizations came into this task force, this family, 70 plus new members. We have a 17-member board, which is 4 leads in each of the actual subgroups, the organization structures and people providers and outreach and engagement. But we have 5 leaders that are actually represented from Workforce Central, which is myself, Shelly Willis, Juliana Flanders, Joanna Rasmussen. And I love that look because it shows the support that Workforce Central has for this group. You know, we have a marketing person in this group. We have a communications person in this group. We have one of the best facilitators in the world in this group. But that's because they believe in what we do. You know, 9 organizations started their DEI journey and DEAI, I'm sorry, I wanted to bring access in there. But that includes Workforce Central because we believe that it's something that needs to stay at the forefront. It's something that we all really got to see front face last year and what that really meant and the disparities of that COVID really showed throughout our community in itself. And we wanted to make sure that we stayed strong in that. And we wanted to rebuild ourselves, truly understanding that we can't ask people to show their wounds if we're not willing to show ours. So big shout out to our CEO, Katie Condit. I know she's on here somewhere, but she believed in that vision and she keeps driving us to make sure that we are better for this community and we are engaged in this community. And it starts with us from internally. And so that's what we're doing. We're so proud of that. We had new branding. I don't know if half you guys know, but hey, I'm at my Loop City all day. You see it in the background. But, that was because we needed something different. We wanted to make sure we're like the new club. We're like, we got swag. That's what we have. So we get to wear it all the time. We have a new Facebook group. We actually have our own website right now, and Jeff will talk a little more about that. But we really were able to just transition from what happened in our past and not realizing that we can do this stuff virtually, to sitting and realizing that we may not go back to what we all used to know as being in front of each other all the time. And so this is be home for a lot of us, and that's okay.
Are you ready to kick it over to me?
I'm ready to kick it over to you. Kick that deuce.
I was waiting for the lob.
Oh man, there we go. You got it.
Good morning, everybody. Jeff Wolff, Community Engagement Coordinator at Workforce Central and co-lead here at the task force. Man, I'm so excited for this year. We have so many things that are happening, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. With everything that happened last year, we made this year the year of resiliency, right? To overcome toughness or difficult situations. But I think we're taking it a step further. It's a next level mindset, right? In order to go to the next level, you gotta change. You can't do the same thing. You can't be mediocre. And that's what we're doing. And luckily, after I talk, we're gonna have the groups report out on kind of more in depth on what they're working on. But I'm gonna give you a quick little idea of what they're working on for the next year. So leadership, as Tamar talked about, we're doing some improved framework, right? We're scaling the task force. How do we bring in this many people and capture that excitement and engage, right? How do we actually have people do the work that they came here to do without getting lost in the shuffle? A little bit of structure to help everybody, but we're making sure to not get in the way of creativity. We're making sure not to get in the way of doing the work. A new website, tons of more video content, all that stuff's going to come out so that the information's kind of at our fingertips. And then most important, now that we kind of have a good flow and things are happening, we're going to be focused on measurables. At the end of 2021, how can we improve and what kind of measurables are we going to have at the end of this? That's the most important part. That's why we all come to this every single month. So let's focus on that. Organizational structures. So excited for this. They're doing a DEI mini-series with a summit at the end. That starts next month. It's a 30-minute presentation at the next 4 task force meetings. After that, we're going to do a 2-hour summit, and people are going to have access to the welcome kits. They're going to have access to all the DEI information that that group has come up with. All that stuff's going to be on the website. Just a lot of really great things. And then they're also just going to continue to support everybody in that journey. And I'm sure they're probably going to come up with more initiatives as the year goes on. Outreach, universal intake form. That's a really big one, but a really important one. And it's already underway. So be on the lookout for that. Quarterly community events. That's something that they really want to focus on. And then continued support for the other groups. How do they raise awareness for the other initiatives and support us there too? And then peoples and providers. We're working on a speakers bureau. We're ready for our first speaker, Amanda Walkingstick, to do a presentation, right? What organizations can we tap into to have her do a presentation and talk about her lived experience with homelessness? I-5 career awareness. We're trying to change the awareness. That's a cross-county initiative, right? how do we change the narrative on a one-size-fits-all school and career path? That's the idea with that. Childcare and education pods, pandemic or not, this is a needed thing. It's on people's minds, and we're excited to kind of figure that out and move it forward. So with that said, how are we changing the task force for next year? So like I said, next level mindset, you kind of need a new methodology for that. And here's the framework. A brand new standalone website. Improved structure. We continue to have our private Facebook group, and now we have a public Facebook group, which a lot of people have requested, and here we are. And what do these things mean, and how do they all connect? So there's a lot here, and I'm gonna just quickly run through them. On the website, PCCETF.org, you can go there now. It's live. Go check it out. We're still working on it. We have lots of stuff to add to it, but there's gonna be tons of new content, videos, all the great conversations that we have, all the great information that we put out there. Let's record those. Let's put them on the website so when people go there, they can feel the same energy that they feel in these meetings or in our conversations. Instead of it being just a graphic or a written email, let's feel the vibe, right? There's gonna be documents and videos, like I said, subgroup information so people can read up on what's going on. So that way, when they wanna join a group, they can read on which group they wanna join. New member form. This is gonna be huge because our onboarding is now intentional. It was kind of emails and here and there before, and now there's a new member form. So if you know somebody that wants to be an active member, they fill out the form on the website. If they pick a subgroup, that subgroup will actually get a ping. We have a member in that group that will reach out to them, connect with them, get them connected to the group. So it's a much more intentional thing. Like I said, we want to tap into that energy. If they want to come to the task force and they want to do some work, let's do it. Feedback form. This is important. If we're not doing something that you would like to see, if you would like to suggest something, whatever it is, let us know. You know, we want to be inclusive in that way as well. And it's something that's going to be on the website here pretty quick. And then just more flexibility. When we want to add something to the website, when we want to promote an organization that's doing, you know, their DEI journey or anything like that, we have the ability to share it, to post it, put it on the website, and have everybody be able to have access to it. Some improved structure things. We have defined roles within each group. So if there's something that needs to be done, we know exactly who to go to. There's less guesswork. The co-leads know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. That way they can focus more on leading the group instead of trying to figure out the nuances on how to operate. We have a shared document stuff. Like I said, we have intentional onboarding. We have improved docs and templates. It's just a lot more support for the groups. And then private Facebook group. This has been around when we started this, gosh, a year ago, I think. The idea was at our in-person meetings, everybody would stand up at the end and shout out their announcements. We have this new program, or we have this event coming up. I have a flyer. And everybody was like, can you email us? You know, just email the whole entire group. And but we needed like one place for all that stuff to go. So we created the Facebook group. It's still there. It's going to be for active members only. If somebody just wants to watch us, that's why we have the Facebook page. But the active members, it's a resource. All of our meeting videos and notes get posted there. That's where you share your announcements. There's cross collaboration. If somebody needs something, for example, like the design hilltop, right? Jeff Dade needed a projector. That's a great place to go on there and say, hey, I need help, right? Or Courtney Akoff. She has an event coming up. She can go on to the group and say, who wants to collaborate on this event? Or I need resources, or whatever it may be. That's just a really great quick spot to get attention and help raise awareness on what's going on. And then obviously the public Facebook group, it's public facing. People, we can build an audience. People can see what's going on without, maybe they're not ready to join yet. Maybe they just want to, kind of watch from afar, whatever it may be. And then we can share content. When you have a private Facebook group, you can't really share from it because it's private, right? So the public one makes that a lot easier. And if you want to invite somebody, like I said, to the task force to either be a member or just to watch, invite them on the Facebook group and then invite them to the website to join. From there, they'll get connected. When they come to their first meeting like this one, they'll be in the lobby and kind of learn all the stuff that we're learning now. So with that said, that's what's happening this year. And I'm just excited because it's no more guesswork. It's less worrying about nuances, and it's more focused on work and measurables. So thank you. Thank you from our leadership team. Thank you from our entire membership. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Tamar.
Thanks, Jeff. No, I appreciate that. Definitely like Jeff said, I've seen it in the chats, and it's crazy because I didn't think about that. I want to take a quick second and truly Juliana and Joe. And when I mean, just what she does in the background, she's always really, really quiet, but she catches everything we say. So if you don't want it caught, don't say it, because she catches it. Trust me. In a conversation, she grabs everything. But she's amazing. So Juliana, thank you so much for the support that you give this team day in and day out, for the random idea, text messages and phone calls that just sparked me at that moment. You are just truly amazing. Joanna, I don't know if you're on here as well, but thank you guys. At the end of all this, Shelly always shuts down something like crazy, so I'm not even gonna go there. So I'm gonna ask my ass now. When we get off of this, I'm gonna make sure Juliana puts that web's link inside of the chat. Every one of you guys on this phone call, man, please go up there, check out that website. Even if you're a member now, go join, just so we can have documentation of who's a part of this. You know your group, you know where you're at, go join. And the reason I say that, because all this information that we have right now is for every last one of you guys to be able to use. When your organizations are asking, what is that 2, 3, 4 hours you're using for the task force? What are you doing? You can go on and get the document showing the initiatives that we're working on. Mind you, those initiatives we are working on as a team, those are for every last one of you guys to be able to go back to your organization and say, this is what we're part of. This is what Sound Outreach is part of. This is what the Goodwill is part of. This is what Forterra is part of. That's for you guys. That's not for Workforce Central. That's for this community. That's for the work that you guys are doing in this community, but that's for all of us to be able to support each other. So when Jeff is talking about these videos, when you guys have exciting moments, record those moments. People love to see energy and see what's going on and see what we're talking about, because that gets them excited. I know we're in a world right now where a lot of people are doubting a lot of things, but when they see the energy and they see that juice flowing, they want to be a part of something that is active, that's energized, that makes them feel that they're entangled in this amazing web of positivity. So go check out the website, check out the videos. If you guys have ideas, connect with us. It's for all of us. That's what that website is for. It is the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force website. This is you guys' home. This is where you guys share information, but this is where you guys come to collaborate and work with the rest of us to do amazing and great things. So I'm gonna leave it like that. And we're not gonna use all 2 hours. So this is gonna be a short meeting. We just wanted to keep the energy. We're gonna be going into breakout room soon. And if you ain't going in the breakout room, I'll see y'all in the lobby.
All right, thank you. All right, this is awesome. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna roll into each group, subgroup report is gonna do their 60-second elevator pitch so that you will know who they are and what they're working on. And then you get to decide when we break out and we go into the breakout rooms where you wanna go. What we always ask, of course, is if this is your first meeting, you meet Tamar and I in the lobby and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead, organizational structures, then outreach, then people's group.
Hey, we are excited about our summit coming up. So overall, what the organizational structures group does, we're a collective of people creating and providing resources and roadmaps for organizations to keep DEAI in front of them at all times. Additionally, with our summit, we are excited to bring in a lens of equity with a focus on the 4 Ps: people, policy, practice, and promotion. And so come join us, help share the news. We're starting in February and it will last for the next 4 months. So we're excited to see everybody.
Pick organizational structures.
I guess that's me next. So hi everybody, I'm Kelly Blucher, co-lead of the Outreach and Engagement Group. We are the group that is the most lonely and miss hugs the most during COVID, for sure. We miss people. We're doing a lot of big things right now. So as Tamar kind of briefed on a little bit, we are working on a universal intake form, which is huge. We now, knowing how big it is, we've pretty much taken it sort of to a state level, really working within Pierce County to see what that looks like. And if Pierce County can be the first in the state to release something like that, which is amazing, because this is really equitable service delivery, collaboration on efforts we've never seen before within workforce development and all over organizations within Pierce County. So a lot of work to be done on that one. We would love some help from y'all. Also, we're doing quarterly events in the community, trying to see what that looks like. Again, during COVID, it looks like we're extended a bit longer in phase 1 here in Pierce County. So, you know, what can we do to still get some services and much needed items out into the community? So again, we need help on that one. And then our third initiative, focusing on diverse collusion. Did I say it right, Tamara? I'm getting it down. I know I have it on a shirt, but I have to say it better. You know what I mean? I had to look at my sleeve there. And what that is really making sure and helping in efforts of organizations who have put out statements and are really talking about anti-racist education, becoming anti-racist organization, and seeing what can we do as an outreach group to not only help hold those organizations accountable, but really what tools can we utilize within our Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force that may be useful for other organizations who are just starting that journey. And that's us. So please join us if you want to be involved in any of that. We'd love to see you.
All right, I'm Jeff Dade, and I am with Amanda, Yvette, and I co-lead the Providers and Community Group that is lovingly known as the People's Group. We work on bridging gaps between people and regional services with an emphasis on client voice and agency. I got a couple updates for you guys. So first, our Speakers Bureau. We have a platform that is to partner with the Arlington Apartments. Is really exciting. So the Speakers Bureau is beginning to train speakers. I'm sorry, the Arlington Apartments is, so I got my notes switched up, is the education pod. So the Speakers Bureau is beginning to train speakers, looking for additional speakers to begin training, as well as speakers assistants to expand our abilities. With the education pods, and we'll be talking about this when we do our breakouts, we'll give you some more details, but we have some connections with the Bates. And so we'll be looking at providing babysitting for the Arlington apartment community. So you hear more about that if you join us. And then I-5 Thrive, we're working on a mission statement. So we're really dialing that in. That is a really large effort. There's a lot of energy behind that, a lot of community will, a lot of provider will here in this group. And then finally, we want to let you guys know that we're on the hunt for a co-lead. And that's going to be a colleague that's going to join our committee leadership, and look out for the forthcoming co-lead application. That's it for us.
All right, so that is it for all of the group introductions. So you can choose. So the breakout rooms are going to be loaded up, and we should be able to, they're down. Okay, so you can join a breakout room. If for some reason you have an issue joining a breakout room, just let Jeff know in the chat that you can't, and which breakout room you want to go to. Is that right, Jeff?
Yep, that's right. The button should be at the bottom. If you click breakout rooms, you should be able to select the one you want to go to. If you don't have the current software or the current update, you may not be able to see it, so just let me know. And
don't forget to designate a note taker. Thank you, Juliana, for the breakout rooms. We will meet you in the lobby if you're hanging out with Tamar and I. We will see you all shortly. Go ahead and pick your breakout rooms and we will move on from there.
And we'll be getting out of the breakout rooms. Let's do 10:30.
10:30. All right.
10:30. Oh, look at them! Look at that screen dropping. Look at that screen just drop.
If you don't have a button, just go ahead and tell me which room you'd like to go to, and I can assign you.
Yep. We have some new folks. I know. I see a lot of new faces. Hey, Kane, I see you. Welcome. Welcome to the meeting. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. Nice to see you. I'm just excited that Sean Durnan is here. Y'all don't even know how excited I am that he is here. That is just completely making my whole year right now. Like, OMG. Let's see, what do we have here? We have some folks that I know haven't left yet. So we still got a lot of folks. Look at that. Hello, sir, Mr. Mike Akey. How you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us. It's an honor to have you here.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right. What do we have? So looks like we're almost there. Once I feel like we're there tomorrow, then we'll start with introductions.
Roger that. And man, I didn't even see on the screen. Before we get out of here, Shelly, when the rest of the group comes back home, we definitely got to give a big shout out. I'm gonna let him say his name and introduce himself, but I'm excited to see this person on this phone call because we got a lot of work to do with this person. So y'all will catch the drift when he says his name, but I'll just say congratulations first and we'll talk after that.
Yes.
Hi, how come I'm not being put into a room?
What room do you want to be in?
What other room? I used to be in, what was that?
Sonuma's and Peoples.
Okay. Jeff, we'll put you there. Jeff will put you there.
Lori, I'm trying to put you. It's not letting me for some reason.
People group. Okay, that's fine.
Is it Ulysses? What room do you want to go to?
Peoples is fine.
Okay. Perfect.
We have it's always a few folks who can't get into the room or can't access the breakout room. Also, I think in the future, we're going to remind everybody to do your most recent Zoom updates because that Zoom update is what can keep you from having the new Zoom features. And they do updates very often these days. And if you don't do your Zoom updates, then you will not. I see Jake. Jake is on here.
I can hang out in the lobby.
You can hang out in the lobby. Lori, what room do you want to go into?
It's all right. There's something, I got to update my Zoom features clearly. So I've just
I assigned you and it says, when I try to do it again, it doesn't let me.
And I can't see.
If you hit breakout rooms on the bottom, does it give you anything?
It just gives me the list.
Okay. Oh, it just gives you the list. It doesn't give you the list to move people.
Yeah, and I can assign you to a different group, but I can't. Let me
and it looks like it looks like I'm in the people's group, but it says I didn't join, but I'm here and I want to join. But I'll just hang out here. I know what's going on, and I'm gonna update the group about the Bates child care situation when we get together.
Well, Jeff will keep working on getting folks in groups, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start with our introductions for all of you. First and foremost, welcome to the lobby. This is your introduction into all great things that we consider to be the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force, our foundational pillars and information. I know a lot has been thrown at you and shared, but this is where you can ask questions, and Jeff and Tamar can synthesize that information for you and really break it down and hopefully give you some more depth. Why is Kelly Blutcher still here Kelly's still here?
Well, we got to get her in there. There we
Yeah,
go.
we got to get her into her outreach group. That just caught me off guard. I'm sorry. I saw a squirrel and I was like, why is Kelly still here?
Kelly wanted to kick it.
So Jeff is going to keep working on that. You know, hey, look, it was
okay.
first thing we said it was 2020. It's 2021 and we are still on Zoom. It's a thing. So we're going to start. Sam, are you supposed to be in a group? No?
No.
Okay.
I haven't joined one yet. I'm new.
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call your name out in no particular order, what I see on this screen. And then we want you to just introduce yourself and tell us where you're from. And one initiative you would love to see happen this year in 2021, something that you would love to get off the ground this year. So your name, where you're from, and what is something that you would love to see happen this year. I think that would be great. So we'll start with you, Sam, since I'm looking at you, and then I'll just call on everybody from there.
Sam Bradshaw, Workforce Central, south side of Pierce County. What's happening, everybody? Excited to see you. One thing I want to get off the ground this year, you know what? I don't know, man. It's early still.
Is there one initiative you would love to see happen?
I don't know yet.
Okay. All right. Carolyn Sampson?
Hi, Carlin Sampson.
Carlin, thank you.
You're welcome. No, thank you. Hi, I'm Carlin. I am from Rebuilding Hope, the Sexual Assault Center for Pierce County. And man, when you asked that about the one initiative like specific to our organization or like philosophical initiative for community?
Both, either one, organization or community.
Organization. I am, for our agency, we rely a lot on volunteers to meet the 24/7 crisis needs for victims. And I'm fighting really hard to find a way to really compensate them and give them the support they need for coming out and volunteering their time to do that work. So that's something that's very close to me. And community-wise, just some peace and safety. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, Alex Alderman.
Hello. Yes, I'm Alex Alderman. I'm from Pierce Transit, but I was born in Spokane, and I came here to go to UW-Tacoma, and then I stayed here. One initiative, man. I mean, really, my goal is just to have, because I believe transportation is a human right. I mean, everybody has to be able to transport themselves safely. So I would just really like to see Pierce Transit support the community more and really just make sure that community organizations know the services that Pierce Transit can offer.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that. Melinda Shetler.
Hi, it's nice to be joining today. So I'm Melinda. I'm at Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium. I work in our conservation engagement department. And if I had one big dream that I would love to see happen, we've been talking a lot about workforce equity in the zoo world and at here at the zoo and at Northwest Trek. And I would love to see us have more equitable and inclusive internship programs.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that. All right, Davita Sharp, Hago?
It's Haygood.
Okay, I couldn't see it all.
No worries. Good morning, everyone. I'm Davita Sharp Haygood. You can just call me Davita Haygood. By day, I'm the interim director of education over at Pierce College. By night, I'm the founder of the Two-Way Racial Healing Project here in Puyallup, Washington. One initiative that I have for 2021 is to get our city to approve the Racial Equity and Diversity Commission for Puyallup, because we all know Puyallup needs some help. So that's my one initiative.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that. We have the Mr. Sean Dernan. I'm excited.
Yo, good morning all. So Sean Dernan here from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised. So I just want to point out really earlier, I don't remember who said it, but look, I got my Motown cup right here. One Motown, one family, one legacy. That's what I'm all about. So the reason I'm here, again, I would love to see us, and I know it was brought up earlier, maybe clean up this coordinated entry process. We got 10 different people going to 10 different places for one resource. That's just not okay. So my goal with this group is to not only clean up the coordinated entry process, maybe create that universal intake form I heard someone talking about, and then clean up how we're approaching how we serve our homeless, our needs, our resources, how we're coordinating with the community to bring those things to the people who need the most. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm so excited to see Shelly Willis's face this morning.
And what's your
Yes.
organization?
Oh, my bad. I'm so excited. You guys got me pumped and everything. I'm just feeling good. Non-line veteran services. We serve the literally homeless. We work with companies throughout the South Sound, Washington State, to provide employment and housing to our literally homeless veterans. And that's what we do.
And so, and then, you know, that's on a smaller scale of reference, but yes, our veteran, I wanted to make sure we had our veteran service organizations represented. And so I've invited some of my friends, my fellow veterans in to this community. So hopefully we'll get a couple of more of them. I know we have Kane on here as well. I think he might have left and went into a group, but if he did, that's fine. But we have several veterans that are in this community and doing great work, and I want you all to get connected to them. We have Mr. Mike Akey. I'm just excited that you were able to join us.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Mike Akey, just a few things. I'm also a veteran.
All right, sir. How you doing?
I'm an immigrant from Korea. I was born and raised there since I was 10. But I call the Tacoma Pierce County area my home now. My family does. I graduated from Spano-Elect High School, barely, but I understood the importance of education as I continued on. I'm the new interim chief for the city of Tacoma. And I looked at your website. I appreciate it. I looked at the website, looked at the things that you're talking about. All the words you guys are using are all the words I use and I believe in. So, and I see the different faces and the excitement, and I'm excited to be a great, I hope to be a great resource for this group, you know, and for the various groups and stuff. So when you talk about the initiatives, you know, I think of it as this. I got to get my folks and my peers throughout Pierce County to understand the importance of procedural justice and why that's so important as we go through our transformation. When we talk about respect, you can't respect people when you don't acknowledge the differences, you don't acknowledge the perspectives, and understand the hurt that people feel as we talk about some hard issues. So with that, Nick from OEHR, from the city, Office of Equity and Human Rights, he turned me on to this meeting, and he thought perhaps this be a good place for me to start my connection with the community. So that's enough. Sorry, I wound up being a talker, so I'll just stop.
Lord, we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And yes, from one veteran to another. Yes, I'm not going. What branch? I just have to ask.
I thought there was only one, but no, I'm just joking. I'm an Army guy.
Yeah,
I'm an Army guy. And
yeah.
Look at Jake. Look at Jake. Jake is like, really? All right, I'm not going to take this over. Okay, John Harvestone. I love my people. I love Harvestone. So yes, come on.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Jonna LaRue, and I'm a Community Development Manager for Harvestone Credit Union based in Lakewood. And I am always just very passionate and always, not necessarily initiatives, but everything I am about is about financial literacy and financial wellness for our whole community.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you do not know, Harvestone is our partner in doing our financial literacy at the WorkSource Peer Center. They've been doing a great job giving that workshop. And the next one's coming up in February. All right, Lori. How you doing?
Good morning, Shelley. Good morning, everybody. I'm doing great. Happy New Year. I'm Lori Reese. I'm the Workforce and Economic Development Coordinator here at Pierce County Library. One of the things that we're really going to be focusing on this year for this newer position is kind of to expand the accessibility of our Job and Business Center resources, especially to our BIPOC, our ALICE population, and to our digitally disconnected neighbors, because we have all these great resources, but not necessarily technology and resources in the hands of people to connect them to what we have. So that's a big push for us right now. As far as the stuff you guys are working on, I am so down with a universal intake form. I want to be a part of that. So that just sounds so great, like one and done. Let's hook these people up with what they need instead of jumping them through all these hoops. Sounds amazing. So great to see some familiar faces. I'm excited to finally get to come to the meeting.
Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing more of you. All right, Jake. All right, Jake.
Just got to get off mute. How's it going? Good to be here. It's been a while. It's Jake Hirsch-Allen. I'm probably the only one calling in from Canada. So I'm up in Toronto, Canada, but I run workforce development and higher education systems for LinkedIn Learning across North America. I've got a bunch of news for this crew. We are quite close to signing an agreement with the state of Washington to provide what I sell, LinkedIn Learning, for free to everybody who's at a community college, to everybody who's at a library, which actually you guys already have, and for everybody who's at a workforce board. So we're not there yet, but we're talking to the governor's office quite publicly now, and we're talking to the heads of each of those systems on a weekly basis. And honestly, this is the community that I've been closest to since I began talking to Washington last year. So it's a pleasure to be here. And when you asked what initiative I'd want to talk about, well, I just want to make that initiative come true. It'll be the biggest deal probably in LinkedIn history. And it's in our new parent company, Microsoft's home state. So there's nowhere where I'd rather be working than with you all. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, man. That's going to be a big deal for a lot of our clients and our community members that we serve. That is huge. Thank you so much. Now, Megan in that beautiful canary yellow. Yes, ma'am, Miss Megan Clark.
Good morning. Good morning. Megan Clark, family liaison with Tacoma Public Schools. And I'm just happy to be here. I love the faces that I'm seeing. I have seen you guys, a lot of you just in and out of things that we have just ships passing in the night. There's been a lot of good things that you guys are doing, and I'm really excited to be here. The universal intake form, oh my goodness. I am so super excited and pumped about that, because there are so many of my families that I'm like, oh, I want to put you here. I want to get you connected with this person. And it's a lot of me scrambling and trying to plug. And to have a universal intake form is my it literally makes my heart so happy. So that's what I'm here for. And I want to get our babies back in school. That's my other initiative. Let's safely get our babies back in school and be able to make our families' lives easier. So I'm happy to be here, though.
All right, welcome. Okay, I see Danielle Thomas. I don't know if they're okay. Well, we'll come back to Danielle. Aaron Herringshaw. Is their photos are not up. Nope, and nope. Linda Graves. Nope. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, good morning.
I'm with Tacoma Pierce County Health Department, and in my normal role, I am the Youth Marijuana Prevention Coordinator for Pierce County. I'm activated for COVID response, and my duties are to do vaccine outreach and education for folks with underlying health conditions. So my initiative would be that everyone gets vaccinated this year.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right, I see Miss Marion Seifert.
Hi, good morning. Happy New Year, everybody. Love this group. You guys give me hope and give me energy in these difficult times. So thanks for being here. I'm working with Linda and Carlos and a whole bunch of other folks at the health department as part of that COVID vaccine outreach work, so that we can all get back to school, get back to work, get back to having fun, being safe. Yeah. So my focus is on elders populations. So if any of you all have contacts with different elders groups, please let me know. I'll put my email in the chat here. Thank you.
Welcome. All right, and the last guest I see is Carlos Ortiz, but I don't know. And then we'll move on to questions. Hello, sir.
Hello, good morning, Shelly.
Good
everyone.
morning.
Happy New Year. Yes, a lot of good people here for sure, as usual. So I'm Carlos Ortiz. I'm the COVID-19 training coordinator and also liaison for the Latinx community here in the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department. So anything I can do to provide information, resources, training, things like that for community members, I'm your go-to guy. And I'm also a local filmmaker here, content creator, creative professional. And then one of the things that I'd love to see, obviously with my work here at the health department, just to continue to do equity work, making sure that, we're helping the people that need our resources and information and support as much as, the most, right? So that's really our main focus. And then personally, I'm behind this STEAM-powered initiative. We're looking to build a innovation center somewhere here in Pierce County. So we're establishing a nonprofit and pushing forward this initiative to help creative professionals and also scientific minds, get the entrepreneurial and also the financial education they need to be successful. So those are some of the things that I'm working on, amongst other things. But glad to be here. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, thank you. And I still have Miss Juliana and then Joanna. I didn't want to miss you all to introduce yourselves. Juliana?
Hi, my name is Juliana Flanders, and I'm the content designer for Workforce Central and the brand strategist for this task force. Gosh, it's really hard to choose just one initiative. I didn't realize until it got to me, but I'm really pumped about this DEI mini-series that we have coming up. It's going to be awesome. So that's kind of my focus right now.
All right, and Joanna, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Joanna Rasmussen. I'm the Director of Communications at Workforce Central and also the marketing strategist for the task force. And really, initiative I'm focusing on is to really just get information about services that are available out to as many people in the community as possible. The programs and the resources are here, and my goal is just to make sure to get the word out to as many people as possible so they can get connected to these services.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Tamar, Jeff, we can just run with questions. If you all have specific questions and you want to know anything, Tamar and Jeff can definitely fill those for you, or I can as well. So I'll turn it over to Tamar.
Hey, what's going on? Tamar Jackson, Director of Community Engagement, but also the lead of the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force. As Megan would say, Mayor Jackson, but the mayor of Loop City is here. Man, it feels so good to just see the power that was just in just this screen right now, just the power we have. And, Mike, I'm excited to have you here. When you spoke, Jeff was like, dude, we got the chief here. I said, I know he's been coming. Surprise. So, it's just, I love the vision that you came with and wanting to make these changes. Everybody on this phone call, like I said, we got a lot of great things to do. But as Shelly always says, we got to work to get them done. So hearing what Sean wants to do and where Lori wants to go, and everyone has that niche. And so I'm so happy that you guys are there. You heard it and saying, okay, where do I bring this passion? Because regardless of the organization that we're from, that passion comes from the inner spirits. It's not a 9-to-5 thing. I know when me and Megan spoke about it, you don't do community from 9 to 5 and then you just clock out and say, okay, I'll get back to the community tomorrow. This is an everyday thing. And so that's what makes this group so absolutely amazing, because we all have that love for this community. And so I'm excited to see where you guys want to go, where you guys want to be at, how to be involved. Please don't feel like you don't have anything to bring to this table. We all have something to bring to this table. We all need help. These groups need help. These are big lifts. And people are shocked sometimes. I'm like, what are you guys trying to do? Yeah, we're trying to lift this. But it takes all of us to lift it. And once we're able to lift it, we all get that win. So I'm excited to just conversate with you guys. And I'll let Jeff introduce himself real quick. And then let's get to some conversation. Let's just have some conversation and have fun.
Thanks, Tamar. Like I said earlier, Jeff Wolff, Community Engagement Coordinator at Workforce Central, also co-lead of this task force. I'm also a small business owner in the area. So bring a lot of different perspectives to this. I say we just do popcorn. Everyone take yourself off mute, right? Let's have a kind of a collaborative session. What do you want to see within the task force, or what do you want to dive into? If there's a group that you want to join, let us know. Let's just kind of go that way.
Well, honestly, I mean, I think that everyone probably has the same common core theme here, right? So there's such a disconnect when we talk about what that community engagement looks like, right? So that's the basis for everything we're all doing. And so I think, again, just speaking for myself at this point, but really identifying how we can streamline these getting people to these services, getting people to the supports they need, the mechanisms, building out those procedures, protocols, processes, and really diving in to approach the community with that. I mean, a lot of people say that, but how many people are actually doing that, right? And to have all these different organizations, again, the common core theme here is community first. So how are we going to do that? What does that impact look like? Is that a 2-year turnaround? Is that a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year? You know what I mean? So it's really collaborating with each other to understand where the gaps in the communication are, not only organizationally, but then community based. So from the guy on the street who's riding the bus every day to find an answer to get a service, or the CEO at the top of the building going, how do I get, these services or these things to these people? It's bridging that gap. So that's where I'm at today. I'm feeling good about it, man. Y'all really got me pumped. Like I'm just loving this.
Well, that's another thing, going off of what Sean was talking about, like going back to that universal intake. I love the fact that, you can bring something in and literally provide a family with information, and then it pings all these different organizations. And so it's not just, because a lot of times there are things that you don't even know that somebody can connect you to. And so being able to have a universal screener coming in and taking the family's needs and everything. And then there's some things that I might not even know that are available community-wise in Tacoma. I pride myself on being pretty well versed, but there's always something that's coming up or new. And to have a database that just pulls that information and can plug families in and our people in is incredible. And I'm here for it. I'm so excited. And I just love that even if these are the new faces, I'm just like, oh my goodness, like this is dope. So I'm really excited. Sean, I'm right there with you. And I haven't even had coffee, so.
Right. Look, I'm working on my second cup, but I'm there. Right. So, but no,
I totally
sorry,
agree with you guys. You guys are great. And with that universal intake form, my biggest question, what do we solve first? Let's make the form, let's create a system, let's be the first ones to really capitalize on that and create it. But hand in hand with that is, how do we get it to the folks? How do we get ourselves in front of the folks that need to be completing this form? Okay, because it's easy to say like, oh, somebody out in Eatonville doesn't have access to as many resources because they're not in the hub in Tacoma. But there are people right outside y'all's door right now that will not come through the door. So how do we get ourselves in front of them to complete the form to hook them up to those services? And that is like the forever question. Like, we're doing a great job. We've got outreach at multiple organizations that goes out and tries to target specific populations, and they're really out there trying to help their neighbors. But as a county, as a state, as a whole, we have to come up with a real method of really getting in front of these people and saying, we're here, we have access to anything you need. We're gonna bring ourselves to you, instead of saying we gotta bring people to these resources and show them what we've got. We need to find a way that's feasible for us without expending all of our resources to get ourselves in front of them and say, we're gonna bring the resources to you this time.
Oh, Lori, going off that, I love that you brought that up, because it comes in twofold. One, we do got to build that system. But two, it's going to be about partnership. So we have 211 right now. So with 211, we have to really embody them as well, because 211 is there, but people don't know about 211 the way that they should. So over the next year, as we're building this relationship and we're building this intake form, making sure that we bring them to the table to sit and see, okay, what do you have? What are you lacking? What can we give? And make sure that we run collaboratively. Like I always said, it doesn't always have to be transactional if certain things can be leveraged. Maybe that's, you know, the task force saying, okay, how do we make like a small commercial somewhere, you know, where we can talk about 211, where we can talk about this with the community? Because as we go into engagement, like you said, we identify certain populations. Maybe we have to stop identifying certain populations and identify all populations, even the ones that aren't struggling, so they have this information as well, because a lot of times they don't have that information. So even if they see that person on the corner, none of them are thinking, oh my gosh, can I give you the 211's number? This is what they do. So maybe educating our community as a whole is going to make it a lot easier, because when you see that person down, you don't have to give the hand out no more. You can give a hand up. And sometimes it doesn't have to be money. Sometimes it's just little education that a lot of people don't know about. So that's what we have to do as a collaborative, is come together to the table to get the right people there. And maybe having Chief Akey, same person, saying, okay, I need all of my officers to know. So when they're out in the community and they're seeing these problems happen right now, they have the contacts, they have the direct line of communication saying, I know that I can get you help. So maybe instead of taking you here, we can take you here instead, to make sure that you're getting taken care of. So that's the big line in my head, and my thought is making sure we take care of the person holistically, running through all of the systems instead of continuously causing post-traumatic stress of having to tell your story over and over and over and having the right people there. So now that they know that the right people are there, they can be held accountable, because now they know. So there's no more, well, I didn't know. Yeah, you did. Trust me, you knew, and I knew you knew. So now you're held to a higher standard. So we got a lot of work to do, but I'm loving where you're going with it. I love the energy right here, because I think this year is going to be that year that we break through and we knock down that barrier and we don't replace it with boundaries.
Well, and if y'all don't, sorry, go ahead.
No, Sean, we can tag team all day. Let's do this. Go ahead.
All right. So just to add some context to this too, right? So being that, and I love that Shelly invited me to this. I just want to say that over and over again. Shelly and I have been working together for years. But realistically, like taking a pre-existing, like, you know, that old saying, if you don't have to rewrite the story, if you don't have to rewrite or reinvent the wheel, don't do it. Right. So part of what we've done over the years is created these coordinated entries, which we have proven time and time again, either work partially, don't work fully, or, you know. So how do we get around that, right? So like the mayor of Loop City is saying, man, I love that, by the way. I just want to let you know. So as the mayor of Loop City is saying, I think that one of the things we can look at too is incorporating, like for veterans, right? We work in this very small realm. We have this core group of people we work with, but that's not going to serve the betterment of everybody. You know, we have a plethora of resources that we have our hands on at any point, at any time of any day, period, because we all know each other, right? So taking a system that we use like WASERVS, right? It's a coordinated entry system where we can, if I have a veteran in Enumclaw, if I have a veteran all the way out in Spokane, I can do that coordinated soft handoff. The information's in the system, the needs are in the system, but then how do we take care of that training component? How do we make sure that there's follow through? How do we make sure that the warm handoff actually was effective? How do we make sure that that person that came to us isn't one of those statistics that fell through the cracks between the transition and the actual act of? So I think that one of the things we need to do is look at how we can create these platforms. How can we do these coordinated entries? And how can we make sure that the resources, the providers, the community members, all are incorporated into this process? And I think that everyone in this conversation is on the same page. And I just want to see how we can put that on paper, how we can actually, you know, in earnest, put this into action. And I think that's really what's driving me right now. And I'm with all of you guys.
And I think it's also truly about those trusted community leaders, the relationship piece. You can plug into a community all day, every day, but if you're not truly plugged in, if they don't see you as a trusted community person, then you're just talking at them. And so if you can really build that relationship and speak to people that have relationships, small, little tiny groups of people, you're going to get a lot further with a community than you'll ever get by advertising or this or that. I mean, you can reach people, but are you going to really reach people and get them to where they'll walk through the door? And that's literally, I mean, I can tell you that as a family liaison at the school that I'm at, I am so much more successful in my 4th year than I was in my 2nd or 3rd, because now families see me and they're like, oh, I can trust her. I can open the door to her. She's down for me. She'll ride for me. This is something that I know Miss Clark, when she says she's going to do something, she's going to get it done. And it's just a proven thing. So if you can come alongside trusted community leaders that have put in the work and established the relationships, that's how you're going to move the marker. I mean, really. And that's where we can, because so many times you have these great programs and everybody's like, but nobody came. Well, did you think about barriers? Did you think about, do they trust you? Why are they going to show up and ask you for something if it's going to just be another handout or savior mode or anything like that, you know? So that relationship piece is so important.
Yeah, that's really where we are too at the zoo, where it's like we know that there are gaps between resources that we have, but who is receiving them and who they're not getting to, who would benefit from them the most, or who needs them the most, or who we most ideally would like to take advantage of them. And we're really acutely aware that free resources without relationship is just not, it's just like woke washing, right? So how do we like build those relationships? So that's where I'm really excited to like jump in with both feet, because I think that's where we just need to be a lot more active. So I want to say like, hey, I'm like humbling myself a little bit to be like, oh, I'm kind of like jumping in, but I'm really excited to, because this is what we need and what our community needs.
Definitely. This has been some real rich conversation. So I definitely want to hear from others. I mean, like Megan and Sean have just, thrown it out there. And then, we've got that great, follow up and agreement from Lori and Melinda. Does anyone else have anything that they wanted to add, or?
I'd like to share if that's okay.
Hey, yes.
Yep, awesome, thank you. So Carlos Ortiz again here. So I would say 3 things, right? Kind of some of the things that I've been working on over the years and some of the things that I know are needed. And I think there was some initial work done last year, right, through this task force. One, to provide a sort of a resource center. So maybe a digital resource center. Another thing is to probably move into like a mobile app, right? So people can utilize that as well. And, I have places that we can reach out to and be able to, provide that type of platform as well. And then back to the Facebook group, another recommendation would probably be to do a live stream. Might save you some time. So you could do a Facebook and YouTube live stream through Zoom. So like that, people can look through partake or just be able to watch, right, what goes on during these meetings through those 2 specific platforms. So I don't know if those are some things that are in the works. And I know we were working on last year a directory of resources, partners, etc. Haven't had a chance to see the website, so it might already be there. But I know there were some challenges along the way. But I think those are some things that we still need to push through, and anything I can do to help with that, please let me know.
Jeff, do you have anything to add to that? I know we're already moving forward, but with a couple of things, updates.
Yeah, great suggestion on the Zoom thing, and then that's something that we definitely want to do. That's another reason why we created the the public page, because we couldn't do that with the private. Because everybody that's on the private's already here, right? So great suggestion. And I don't particularly know how to do that. So maybe Carlos, you and I can get together, or me and Shelly, we can figure that out. I'm sure it's simple. I just haven't ever done it before. Yeah, and just to add on really quick to the 2-on-1 conversation and the universal intake form, we've been talking with them for over a year. That was something when I first joined the task force a year ago, that I was talking with them, and we've gotten a verbal commitment from Narinda and hopefully Penny too, to join maybe on a monthly or quarterly basis. And when we do our group reports, 211's going to do just a 5-minute report out on updates and what's going on, because they don't have community engagement people out there, right? And so what we wanted to do is just kind of run alongside them and say, hey, let us be that for you. We already have this platform built. Tap into this, give the updates, but also on the flip side, let's give them feedback. If there's something that we're not liking or something that they're missing, they're open to that, right? Criticism, feedback, suggestions, whatever it may be. Narinda's fantastic, and she's somebody that we can talk to and tap into as well. So I'm excited for that partnership. As far as like the resource list, that never took, because we have 211. And there is an online database that they've already created. And so without having to go back and recreate the wheel, or have somebody have, an Excel spreadsheet that we constantly have to update, all of that's already there. And that was the whole point of partnering with them. And so that's kind of the update. It never moved forward because it was, how do we tap into that? They're already Pierce County, a resource as is. So yeah, that's just kind of the update with that.
Also
Thanks, Jeff.
going with that, Carlos, I know you hadn't, but just so you know, can you see my screen?
No.
No.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. So if you're looking at the website, we have room. Like, we have a video library, stuff like that. When Jeff's saying we can all get together and start doing things, this is where we can start putting a lot of that stuff. So when we're saying push people to the website, push it there. We're going to try to have as much information as we can on this website, so people can always look for that information and always have access to it. That's why we did the public website and stuff like that. So, or the public Facebook page and stuff like that. So that way, we want them to come here. We want them to have access to it. We want them to see everything that we have going on. I'm a firm believer in it. As much as we don't hide, the more they trust and support. So we can sit and push and say, we ain't hiding nothing, man. Hey, go to the website. Come join us. Come be a part of this movement. It's inviting. So they're like, oh my gosh, I can be, but I'm just a community member. We need you the most. We need you. And so with the People's Group, when they're working on these speakers bureaus, it's going just off of how Sean was speaking earlier, to get these organizations to understand lived experience. You can't build a program around homelessness if you didn't have homelessness at the table when you were building the program. So instead, we wasted a whole bunch of money to say, guess what? We saw this on YouTube. I think this is going to work for the community. You're not even part of our demographics. You don't even know some of the places where the homeless are, but you're building a program. So that's a big part as well with that People's Group, is building and having different transition and places and communications and speaking and getting them together to bring their whole experience to life. And we want to be able to broadcast that, podcast that, videocast that, whatever. So these organizations that are struggling to serve the community, there's an answer right there. Let's get that person to the table as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
Real
and
quick,
honestly,
real
sorry,
quick
Shelly.
before you go, I'm sorry, Sean, but Miss Danielle Thomas, she popped up on my screen, and I know I called on her earlier, and I would love for you to get an opportunity to introduce yourself. What is your organization? Or are you just a community member? And what is an initiative you would love to see happen this year in 2021?
You're on mute.
Thank you, Tamar. Good morning, everybody. I'm a long distance community member. I've been in the Northwest for a lot of years, but right now I'm residing in Hawaii. But a lot of the business that I do is in Washington, and I still own property in Washington. Tacoma in particular was where some of my family was. So I was on a call with Tamar, and I was really appreciative to see this invitation come through so I could listen in and be a part of the conversation and add any expertise that I can.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're not going to be jealous that you're in Hawaii. We're going to embrace that with you. I mean, I guess
I'm bringing the sunshine to y'all.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We're just going to take it in. Thank you so much for joining us. And I see Claudia Miller on here. I didn't remember her from earlier, so I didn't know if you wanted to introduce yourself. Yes.
Miller. I'm the family engagement coordinator for Franklin Pierce Schools. I don't have anything to add at this point.
Okay.
We just want to get kids back in school.
I know. And Marcy Boulay, you weren't on here earlier either. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi. Oh, hey everybody. I'm Marcy Boulay. I'm having screen trouble here. I'm at Tacoma Pierce County Health Department and just kind of hopping on and hopping off. So.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, Sean, back to you. Sorry. I like to catch everybody.
No, you know how I roll, Shelly. I'm in the same boat. So that said, though, just to piggyback off what Tamara was saying, it brings to light that peer support aspect too, right? Because as we move forward, we're going to have these successes, we're going to have these failures, we're going to grow and all these different things. But if we leverage those successes, if we leverage those individuals that we empower in the future, right, that we're creating a whole new aspect of how we can continue, whether it be word of mouth marketing for what we're trying to do with the coordinated entry and the, universal intake. We can reach people where they're at, because who relates to a situation better than someone who's been there, right? So we leverage those abilities that we actually are empowering to begin with. Look at it as this continuing reciprocal of circles. Like, we have a starting point, we have an ending point, but then the ending point becomes a starting point. It's just a beautiful thing, So we're empowering people to be able to educate other people on the systems that we're putting in place today. And I think that's really the direction we're trying to go with this, if I'm not mistaken. That's really all I had to say about that, but yeah.
All right. Anybody else have anything to add to that? So when you think about these initiatives, I ask all of you to give me an initiative or a focus. And the reason why is to also to kind of just see where the alignment lies. I'm the Senior Director of Workforce Systems Alignment at Workforce Central. I also have my own Women Veterans nonprofit that Redefining You Foundation. So so the alignment, that's who I am. But so the alignment that I hear when I'm talking about and hearing initiatives is also thinking about like who is missing. So, that's why it's important to think about all aspects of our community of who is actually, who needed to be a part of this conversation. And along this journey, Jeff's been here the whole time before he even started working at Workforce Central. And what our goal is the Workforce Development Board here in Region 6 in Pierce County. Pierce County as a whole. We don't break it off into pieces as it's the Tacoma hub, it's Puyallup, it's five. We have to look at our county holistically. We have to look at all parts of our county. Yes, we have major cities. We have all of those pieces and parts. But until we start thinking holistically about how we want to do this work, we'll always miss somebody. There's always going to be a gap. There's always going to be somebody that's missed. So when you think about in terms of providing service, and this conversation about universal intake is not a new conversation. It's been something that we've been trying to tackle for years in all of our systems work. So how do we do the systems work and make sure that we are able to connect all of the dots for multiple populations? And I want you to understand we'll always have a gap. There will always be a miss, but this is why this is so important. I see Marianne said it would be great to hear from Penny. Okay, so we had a United Way came and did a great presentation. And Juliana, is that recording up on our Facebook page and on our website?
It should be. I can look real quick and figure out what month.
I think it might have been November. So we've been inviting partners to come and do really great presentations. And then there's been a follow-up meeting right behind that where you get to spend even more time. So we got a great, we learned a lot about the 211 system in the huge benefits of it and its alignment with systems like WASSERVS that Sean Durnan talked about earlier that really focuses on the military community, the veteran community, and it's kind of like a mirror of that. But it's actually Grace has done a presentation here as well on WASSERVS. So none of those, for those of you who are new, we have been on a whole journey of finding ways to make sure that we're educating and informing. So what you're gonna find here is a lot of information about what actually is happening in the community. And that's why we're great to be connected to, we're having our interim police chief here. That's important because You will be able to see and learn about a lot of different aspects and parts and pieces to the community that you may not necessarily see. So when our community partners, we have a whole program list of, we have videos that were recorded and they're on the website, I think, and on Facebook, but you can see that 211 breakdown. She did a really good job really talking to us about our Alice communities, talking about how to be a part of it. There were questions that were asked, like how does our organization become a part of the 211 system? I do not believe in redundancy. I don't like to create multiple things to mirror something else, and all you're doing is maybe like one extra thing. We have a great system in the 211 system. It's a national platform. It's not just special here to Washington, right? Or, you know, it's a national thing. It's a national system. So how you use it and how you can get connected, we can get you connected to them. If your organization is not listed on 211, they will work with your organization individually, right? Nothing, there is no cookie for free. Of course, we know that, but we also know, and what they were clear about is that they work with organizations independently to see how they can partner with you to get your organization listed on the 211 system. I know as a workforce system, we have in our WorkSource system, Pierce County WorkSource system partners who are on the 211 system, and we use 211 as our common referral system in order to make sure that we are taking care of our of all participants who come in any door. So there's no wrong door, no wrong way to enter. But there's definitely, thanks, Jake. So there's definitely multiple ways for us to do it. Jake wanted to make sure he put something in the chat that you all ever can, please reach out to him. He put his information in the chat. But I just want you to kind of think about it when you're thinking about initiatives, or when you're thinking about these huge heavy lifts for initiatives. Think about it from the perspective of the holistic perspective of all of Pierce County. You know, we can no longer afford to focus on what's in our backyard. We have to think about our entire county, especially our rural areas who don't get as much attention, right? And who are lacking in resources and struggling. And as much as we know, we know where the technology needs are, and we know what we need to be able to do in order to be effective and help as many people as we can. But trying to bear the burden of helping everyone can be a lofty thing to, you know, it's a lofty goal, right? So we want to be able to iteratively make those changes happen. And so in the task force over the last year, it's been a lot of iterative growth and transitions where we've been able to get to where we have this great framework that you're a part of. Now we're coming on 3 minutes out. Everyone's going to start rejoining us. What I hope you learned while you were in the lobby with Tamar and Jeff and I is, one, hearing your conversations. That's a holistic conversation that happens in every group. So when we meet again next month in February, you're also able to know which breakout room you want to go into. Do you want to go to the organizational structures group? Do you want to go into the outreach group? Do you want to go into the people's group? And you also have the ability to kind of hop around and see where your best and highest value. I always tell everyone to think about your best and highest contribution. We've broken out all of those things that you've talked about, so then you have to see which one speaks to you the most, and where you know that you and your organization can bring the best and highest contribution. It is important that you pick that on your own, and that you kind of just sit with it. And if you feel yourself as someone who could be a floater and you could offer opportunities throughout each one of the working groups, do that as well. What we want you to know though is we get to work. And the groups meet in between these meetings, and the leaders meet in between these meetings. So we don't just wait until we have a monthly meeting. Tamar and Jeff are working with the leadership and facilitating these conversations and making sure that we're all being held accountable for the activities that we've said that we're going to do, the action steps, the initiatives that we want to lift, and everyone's reporting in. So just so you know, this is not a, we all come together and talk about it kind of thing. I will always remind you, this is not a family reunion where people lie and say they're gonna meet and then they never meet up. That's not what we do here. We actually do work here. So what I'm hoping has happened is that you think about which group resonates the most with you, and you can choose that group to be a part of. And if you know which one, email Jeff Wolff. And what he'll do is he'll get you on the email list for that group so that when that group meets, you will be able to join that conversation and start working with them immediately when they have their own monthly meetings in between time. Jeff just put his email address in the chat, but let him know which group resonated with you the most, resonates with you the most, where you think you believe you belong. And if you get there and you say, okay, well, I think I want to try this one, you can always bounce around. And know this, you don't have to make that decision now, but just know our expectation is we're given as much as we were expecting, and that is we're working. And so we're invested in that in many ways. So Tamar, do you have something?
Yeah, real quick. Also, for you guys, when you go to the website, again, you can push the join tab. That join tab will give you the option to join in those groups that you want to join, and that engagement coordinator will reach out to you guys to bring you and welcome you guys to the house. So, you know, the intake form, that's outreach and engagement. The Speakers Bureau and I-5 Thrive, that is the people in the providers group. The DEI Summit and working on policies and other organizations, that's organizational structures group. So whichever, once you actually log on and you join those groups, they will be reaching out to you guys personally to make sure that you are on their mail out list, to make sure you guys don't miss meetings or anything like that. The main group meeting always comes from Jeff and I for each month, but those individual meetings, we leave that to the group so that way they can make sure that you are part of that family and we stay out of that one.
All right. So Tamar, Jeff, do you all have anything we have the wrap up and the announcement of the next meeting? And Tamar, you were just telling that to our group in the lobby, but can you go back over and tell people how to join and get on the mailing list?
Yes. So I hope you guys all enjoyed yourself in those groups for those first timers, second timers, however that looked. Again, like I said, my ask is going to be that every one of you guys go to the website again, PCCETF.org/join. We're asking you to do that so we know who is in these conversations and who are in these groups. If you know which group you want to join, hit the tab. Their engagement coordinator will reach out to you guys. They will invite you into the group. They will make sure that you know what's going on in those groups, and you'll be a part of their monthly meeting cycles so that way you don't miss meetings in general. Again, if you're interested on those intake forms and being part of that outreach group, of course, they're there. If you're looking at the Speakers Bureau, I-5 Thrive, that's people in providers group. If you're looking at DEI, that's that passion, DEAI, I'm sorry, you guys, the summit, and want to be a part of that, that's organizational structures group. I'm hoping by the end of the week, everyone on this phone call has filled out that joining form. Whether you've been here all year, please go in. Leadership is going to be going in and filling out that form as well. We do it so we can keep records. So when they're asking, what is this group doing? We have documentation. That's one thing that I've learned over my tenure here. Documentation is everything. And we want to show that we're growing and that we're doing major things. Outside of that, one last thing, because I believe we got everybody back. I'd like every one of you guys to acknowledge that we have the interim of Tacoma's Police Department, Chief Mike Akey is here. He's part of this group. He wanted to see what we were doing. He's getting ready to bring the reins. So if I can give him just a minute or two to say hi, this is a big thing for us, man. We got the chief of police on the phone with us and part of this Zoom group. He's part of Loop City. And so congratulations, Mike, and please welcome to the task force.
Hey, Tamar, thanks. I think you built me up too fast, too quick here on this call. No, I'm just listening to the conversations that's happening, and is something that, you know, I think that for a lot of us, it's just not what our job is the way we live our life, the way we feel about these issues as a human being, to understand that these are important issues. And I think we all have experiences and friends and family that may have been in need of these services, or, you know, or know people who can be part of the network to provide these services. So I really like that. You know, I'm just absorbing all the information in. Everything I just heard, I want to tell you, I'm just so impressed with all the information that I heard. And I appreciate the invite and see communication with you guys to see how I can assist in the process. And you know, and I think of when you guys are talking about capacity, capabilities, and just the need, right? And you guys have the passion. You put that together, and we develop that sweet spot. That's what we need to do, right? That's how we get to the next level and continue, you know, doing better as human beings and as people within our position. So I just want to say thanks for the opportunity, and I appreciate being here.
Thank you so much for being here, sir. We appreciate your presence. This also just speaks to all of the great work that our community members are doing. I want to say thank you for everyone for joining us today. I want to say thank you to all of our leaders for your continued endeavors to keep the mission and the work moving forward. This has been a great way to kick off the new year. And you know me, we always have to stay focused and keep grinding and get to work. And so we, for the individuals who joined us that are new, I hope that you've clicked the join link and that you have starting to submit your information on where you want to be so that you can join the task force. And I just clicked mine, I just joined. And so I just want to make sure that you know that you can do that. I know everybody's laughing. I just joined. Yeah, I just joined. So just know that it's important. It's important to lead by example, right? So that's what I just did, just to let you know. So it's a new year. It is definitely the year of renewal, reset, refreshing. We remember, keep in mind that we have to keep our leaders lifted up. You as a leader where you are at your level, someone is lifting you up, and know and understand that it is more important now than ever that we are really digging and cultivating all of the things. Last year was about stretching, breaking, and really trying to figure out how to give us the intestinal fortitude we needed to move forward. We're going to need all of that we built up last year in this year. You're going to need the momentum. You're going to need all of the mindset, the emotional reset of your emotional IQ. You're going to need all of that in order for you to continue to cultivate the soil that we broke. We broke ground, a lot of ground, because we needed to focus. What happened last year, all the distractions were removed. So we were able to come in from a pure place and really home in on what we needed to do. I don't know about you, but those distractions, when you sit back and think about it, they saved you a lot of time when you didn't have them, and you were able to do things that you didn't get to do, like read a book. Okay, so like read and reset, like spend time. So you got to think about the pros instead of just the cons, and what are you going to do to take that momentum and that mindset into 2021. So this is January. We're going to talk about continuing to just do the work that we know we need to do. We are here to really continue to plant good seeds in this task force and in this community. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for continued investment in the work that we are all doing. And make sure that whatever you do going forward into the year, that you always stay vigilant on what the true reason for why we do the work that we do. So thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you in February. So get ready. Get ready. All right. Love you all.